what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Cousin Cecil Show. I'm your host, Cousin Cecil, aka Mike Fowler. And this week is a little bit special. I have a friend, maybe more of acquaintance for how much I roast him on Twitter. But we have Joey Craig in the building from the Skyward Cast. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, no problem. Obviously, I want to give you shit about how you do Twitter, and I know how you do it. That's why I handed you my phone number. You're like, no, I'm good, man.
No, I mean, I figured we could just chat back and forth here, man. I was on more, and then right around that day, I decided to once again go off, which I didn't expect. I don't know, man. I can be kind of, I don't know, free bird sometimes. I know some people would describe it that way, but I think it sounds better.
Joey also does the Fire Brigade with Delvin Cox and Chaufie, and they obviously, I don't know if you listened, Joey, to the newest Cadillac on Mars. They expected us to have a Twitch live pay-per-view of us fighting, because I'm on your ass a little bit.
Oh wow.
You haven't listened?
No, I haven't checked it out, man.
Fuck them, right? Yeah, fuck them.
Hey, I didn't say it, man.
Chaufie wishes he was 6 foot, period. No, he gave me shit on the show because they were just talking, because I was Delvin says you're like 6'4"
and
emotional. And then
wow.
I'm trying to open it up. I'm trying so you can bring up some heat too. You don't have to let them put their thumb on you all this time when you're on Fire Brigade or something, even though you're late.
Yeah.
But no, and then Chaufie said I'm 6 foot wide, and then obviously Delvin fell out of his chair. So I know Chaufie probably wish he was 6 foot, period. So. But anyway, off the introduction thing, but obviously, just is going to be I've done 3. Nope, this is my third with a guest, fourth one with my cousin. Fourth one with a guest. So you're actually in a treat. You're obviously going to be on one that's more a regular based Cousin Cecil. We had some news this week, so yeah, it won't be but you are also on here because you're the only guy like me who actually it looks forward to the SnyderCut Justice League movie and stuff. Correct?
Hey. That's uncommon. Well, no, I'm not gonna say it's uncommon. I don't want to say it's a hated, but within the group of people that I usually talk to, I'm most times the only one.
I feel you. That's how it is, yeah. But yeah, we're going to get into that later. But we're obviously going to just start the show with what we usually do, is what I've been playing this week and how my week stuff. Obviously, I had a pretty good week. Nothing really much to brag about that, because just whatever. We're recording this on Super Bowl. I mean, I actually downloaded CBS All Access for that free 1 week trial, so I get to watch it. So that ain't bad. For gaming wise, what did I play? I was playing a little bit of Fortnite, but then, that's what we're going to talk to. This week week was the PS Plus new games, and we got Destruction All-Stars for the PS5 for free. That one that they were highlighting during the launch window. Did you see that Destruction All-Stars or anything, Joey? Like those trailers?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of gameplay of it. How is that? Kind of gave me I don't want to say Twisted Metal type of vibe, but kind of.
Yeah, it's like Twisted Metal in the sense it's a destruction derby, but also has that Rocket League sports over the top. They're for fun. They kind of look like Overwatch characters in the sense they're very character or stylized and stuff. The guys you get to play. I would have to say it is. I would be very shocked of them trying to sell you that game when they first thought so. It's a very thin game. Like it's literally only 2 multiplayer game or 2 online matches that are involving you on your own, like a free for all against 13 players.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are 2 other ones with a team. Oh, it must be 16 because teams of 8 and 8. But that's it. And then I got to play with. I did get to play this week with Chaufie and a friend of ours that we usually play Fortnite with. This Matt and his wife, but we jumped in to Destruction All Stars, and it was a hot mess. Like just creating a party on the PS5 looked so flawed in this situation. It was really rough. And the reason, how would I word it? The gameplay is good. Like it feels good, but the getting the UI, the idea of there's like hardly any. I mean, you get to go into a training match right when you first start. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't really tell you how the game works in the sense of like, I didn't know that until I was playing. I've come to terms that you're always, doesn't matter what team you're on, you're always like, they don't tell you that you're always on the team blue, so you're always looking for orange enemies. If you ever play Rocket League, Joey?
Yeah.
You know how there's team orange and team blue, like either side, and they do that game. They obviously color your car orange so you can get the hint. This one is they're all characterized so it can be any color, but then there's parts when we were playing, we're like, what team are we on? We don't even know. We had to, hold the touchpad down and look at the roster. I'm like, oh, we're on blue. We're gonna look for orange, vice versa. But it's never been told like, oh yeah, you always look for orange enemies. And how would I have it? Would you say the PS5's, besides the limitations of actually buying a system or even Xbox we'll talk about, has been going pretty good?
As far as sales?
Well, you can go by sales or like, I guess the PR in the sense there hasn't been no real big PlayStation problem about these launches, right?
Yeah, not that I've heard.
This would have been their the sword to their side. They would have got, because they were like, you guys were trying to sell this for $70.
70.
Yeah, because it was it's a PlayStation exclusive exclusive. So they obviously said they're going to be $70 for these. This would have been probably the biggest turmoil we probably heard it since it started if this game came out.
Yeah, that would have been terrible because it really does. It looks free to play. You know what I'm saying? In a world where Fortnite, and Warframe and all these other games that you could just jump into. Now Destiny, you can't just throw something out like that, and like, it's $70 because it's first party. Who cares? I don't care. You're not gonna give me I would have a hard time justifying that for $30. So I don't know. That's a good thing that they decided to throw that in for free. But I don't understand. You would think that would have been the game that they threw in for free versus Astro's, what is it? Astros. Yeah, because that seems like it has less value.
True.
Like the way people talk about that Astro game, man, people have been loving it, and all the little Easter eggs here and there. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what their plan was with that, but yeah.
It's just glad to say that there's clearly somebody up top that can read the room, and they did the best thing for it. Cause that's another thing. When we did that group party thing on Destruction All Stars, and I had a bad time the next morning, cause we were discussing it. I'm like, is there even like a campaign or nothing? Long story short, there is not a true campaign, but they have these little things that give you like that's the part that there was a game here, because now there's like I'll say half a story, because like you had to do 7 rounds as one of the characters is a luchador. Obviously he has a truck and shit, but they had a little snippet story about him talking to another driver, and basically earning each other's respect, blah, blah, blah. And you had to do like 7 different games. There's more different games in those little 7 styles. Like one round is like, all right, you have to win, of course. But this one is you're a taxi driver and you have to drive through the arena and stop at these certain, like, glowing zones to pick up your passenger and take them to another spot in the arena. No, which is a normal car, like arena based, like, arcadey game. Like you're kind of playing, it's kind of like playing Simpsons Hit and Run for a round. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then obviously that's totally different from the usual gameplay that they're expecting you to come back and plug in and play over and over and over. So that was kind of cool, but then they have the balls that if you want to play another little story snippet, you have to buy the microtransaction currency.
Oh no.
For another little 7 little snippet things of 2 different characters. I'm like, whoa, are you serious? And yet there's another one with a timer, so I think that one might unlock in 9 days. So we'll see about that. But I don't know what they thought. They must have had too many chefs in the kitchen or something. But I'm more just happy to more say it is free, but it is rough. But now they have a free open door for people to come into. All they have to do is room for improvement. Look how all these other games have evolved too. So we'll see down the road. But first impressions, the gameplay is fun, but I don't think you're going to stay there that long.
Mm-hmm.
But that's basically me for playing games. But how about you, Joey? You can open up. How have you played any games? I know you're usually you're not at the pulse of what's going on. New, but I just was wondering, have you played anything lately?
No, not lately. Not too many games. Yeah, I just kind of unplugged from playing games recently. I mean, I'm still I still pay attention to all the news and all that, but as far as playing them, nah. So yeah, last time I really picked up a game was probably like early December. Was playing Animal Crossing and
right. Yeah, we got you on like we got your reply on the game of the year.
Yeah. I was hooked on that mess for a minute, you know what I'm saying? So it was pretty much just Animal Crossing, Destiny. I played a little bit of Mass Effect Andromeda. But since then, it's been really nothing. I'm about to hook up the PS3, hook that back up, and get into my backlog. Finally play Journey. So that's pretty much it. Haven't played that.
You never played Journey yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
Well, that'd be kind of cool to see somebody with fresh eyes see it. It's good. And then I'm more happy. I'm really like to see you play because I don't know if you have an iPhone, but there's the next game in that game company, Evolved. The Pathless that came out last fall would be like their predecessor game from that. And that's a really good, that actually, in particular for that show, that actually won my indie game of the year. The Pathless. Do you have an Apple phone?
No, but I did see that though. Is it? It kind of looked sort of like on rails. Is that right?
Actually, the only part that makes it look like it's on rails is when you're in chase. It's actually free to play or free to roam. It's like the only time that you kind of looks like you're on rails is because you're collecting speed. But there's these with your bow and arrow, you hit like the little target and gives you a little speed boost. But no, you can aim anywhere you want to go. You can. It's basically. I don't want to. Yeah, come back to me after you replay Journey. So at least I can say it's like it is going to be like the predecessor to Journey.
Okay.
Not about maybe like the story wise, but the idea of this free to roam, beautiful, vast, like looking map. It's really good. And then the music catches you in and it's really good. I'd check it out if Path was on PS5, but the reason I said that because if you had a Apple product and Apple Arcade, it's on there for free.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, but I don't have any of those right now, so I have to check that out when I can.
All right. But yeah, let's get into some of the news that happened this week. One's off, like an off shot of the gaming wise, but Jeffrey Wright is going to star in a Batman podcast for HBO Max. I'm trying to figure out who Jeffrey Wright is off the get-go. But no, apparently they're really sounds like, oh, that's what it is. Jeffrey Wright's who's going to be Commissioner Gordon in the Batman.
Yeah, he's a great actor, man.
That's what it is. So, but they're going to make a little podcast with using Jeffrey Wright's as Commissioner Gordon, I'm assuming, to co-align with the HBO's the Batman universe's police drama they're going to do of Gotham PD. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The HBO Max is launching the podcast, an audio adventure as a comedic take on the Dark Knight as seen by Commissioner Gordon. Jeffrey Wright's actually going to be Batman. He's going to be the voice of the Cape Crusader. So,
what?
That's kind of cool. That's the next story, but that's good to know too. But for this one, what you've obviously seen the Batman trailer.
Mm-hmm.
You like it?
I thought it looked good. I kind of went in with low expectations, so it definitely exceeded those low expectations. So I'm looking forward to it, but it's kind of throwing me off because I want to see if it could, we could still possibly get some sort of Batfleck spinoff, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be an HBO miniseries so my hype is divided. I can't really it's hard to get fully invested in that when we still have the SnyderCut coming up and we don't know what could come from that. If that takes off and does well, the Snyderverse could come back. So that's kind of messing me up, but it did look good though.
See, I'm glad to hear more and more. Each time we talk a little bit more DC, you hear more that it is something with the Snyder Cut we're going to talk about at the end. But I got some news for at this moment in time. I'm going to say Snyder Cut is probably going to be a one-off thing. I think that's actually pissing the wind now. I feel for it. I was hoping for that Batfleck Deathstroke story.
Mm-hmm.
But they said they're possibly going to do comic books of the Snyderverse. So we'll see about that. But the thing about this one, though, now I'm interested to know what it is going to be with. He's going to be the voice of Batman. And then, wonder if they're trying to fish for, what does that lead into the TV show? But that's probably go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying, I want to look into that a little bit more. I wonder why. Like, why do a spinoff, or not really a spinoff, but if you're trying to develop a whole expanded Batman universe, and he's already playing a character, why make him the voice instead of, get like another voice actor that maybe sounds like Robert Pattinson and sort of spin it off that way, and then just have him play his character.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to figure out. I wonder if they're just trying to reach for shit, but I'm not sure, because that's what makes it feel confusing now too. Like, you have him as Commissioner Gordon. If you want to be on the podcast as Commissioner Gordon, that would work. But yeah, I don't get that.
But DC is all over the place, so I wouldn't be surprised,
Yeah. On to other news. Google shuts down internal Stadia game studios. Stadia service continues, and we'll still see more third-party games, but focus on partnerings with other companies. And apparently, this one girl who's highlighted, Jade Raymond, just was clarified that she's away from the company. So I'm assuming she must be a big league name in like the streaming part of gaming. So, because I saw a lot of people say Microsoft should go hire her because of obviously they have dreams of doing stream gaming too. But
yeah, she was big at EA, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes. What was it? Because I know that you said you're playing Destiny too, but I'm pretty sure it was on Stadia, right?
Yes, I was actually playing. I linked up my account because they had the little cross save. So I linked up my account. So I was continuing playing with that. And surprisingly, it wasn't bad. It was pretty smooth. It's not what you would get obviously from playing directly off your own hardware, and there's more potential for connection issues and input lag and all that stuff. So I was actually surprised at how decent it was at times. I mean, I didn't have a great experience playing Borderlands on there, but I don't know. It's kind of inconsistent, but 75% of the time it was surprisingly okay.
Are you surprised that they're stopping first party like workings with it?
Nope. I'm not. I'm not, because it's been a flop out the gate, and they haven't been good at promoting it. But that's Google a lot of times with new products. Either they're shoving something that just really won't work at you, when nobody really wants it, or I mean, I guess there was more potential for this to take off, but they put it out there and they promised all these features and then just kind of like threw it out half baked. It didn't have the YouTube integration they were talking about. It didn't have all these. It was supposed to be like it's on all these different devices, easy to jump on. The interface is terrible. They don't even have a search feature for the store.
Really? Oh wow.
No, it's horrible. You just have to go through and run through the list. It's really bad. I don't understand how Google can launch it like that. So I'm not surprised that it's flopping, but it's their own fault. So
that's I'm more glad to hear that more input, because I never knew that they had a fucked up interface. But I mean, it wasn't surprising they're going to turn off anything that's internal, because just judging by like you said, other what is it, Google Hangout is gone.
mm-hmm.
I think they're converting their Google Music to YouTube Music, so that's going to be gone. So it's just it teach his own, and obviously they're going to fuck up anyway.
How did you feel about Stadia when it first launched?
I was more on that side that people were saying, like, not even like that, the latency issue, and also like I was already committed to the ecosystem of PlayStation. There's no way, even with free offers or bells and whistles, it's not enough for me to switch my ecosystem from PlayStation to Stadia.
Yeah.
But I think this one, I could be wrong, but I think Judgment just is going to come, the game Judgment from the Yakuza universe. You ever seen that? Probably not.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, cool. No, is getting a PS5, Xbox Series X version that's going to come out for $40. I think they're going to treat it as like they're going to say it's a Game of the Year one, but there was no DLC or crazy like that for Judgment. But they're getting a PS5 version, and at this moment in time, when they were showing pictures, for some reason the PS4 ones look better than the PS5 one. So I don't know what's going on there, but looking forward for people with Judgment, who likes Judgment. I heard people like that story because it's from the same people who do Yakuza, like I said. And people really like the Yakuza storyline, but this one's now about a ex-cop, and what is it? And it just gets one of those same twisty, turny storylines like Yakuza. So it's I didn't want to spoil it more, because I also know a little bit more because of this, like, Giant Bomb's Game of the Year or something that year that came out. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't checked that one out. I haven't really dug into the whole Yakuza thing, the whole universe at all. So I mean, one of these days I'm gonna check it out.
How would I word it? Because you're a little back with the PS3. You can always dip your toe in the Yakuza 3 and not think about like, oh, I'm going in halfway through halfway through a storyline. But the idea of just seeing the gameplay, or you can wait to get to like you have Game Pass, right? on
Oh
Xbox.
no, I haven't been playing anything, so I let that run out.
If you it's a free entry of the sense of what I'm going to say. Yakuza 0, Yakuza 1, 2, and 3 are on Game Pass right now because they finally came over to Xbox. And I'm playing Yakuza 0, but this past week I haven't even touched it yet. It's I got through chapter 1, and it's pretty interesting in the idea of it's like a very anime hijink, like over the top, but with a serious Yakuza story. So it's pretty good. I think you'd like it. I think because it's pretty mellow, and also you get to like I'm not there yet, but like there's an open world process. And you go do mini games, you can go bowling, you can go play karaoke. It's pretty fun.
Check it out one of these days, definitely.
But yeah, and then okay, back to a quick TV one again. Ryan Coogler, the director behind Black Panther and Creed series, is now worked out a deal with Disney that he's going to be making TV shows for Disney Plus, and the first one will be a drama based in Wakanda. And that sounds great. I mean, what do you? Obviously, more Wakanda would be sweet anyway. Won't you agree?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. My whole hype, my whole vibe around Wakanda and Black Panther has been kind of messed up, since Chadwick passed away. But it just feels like everything is just kind of up there. Like, where are they going to go with it? And but yeah, I'm definitely definitely interested in seeing where they can go with that.
How would you like to see Black Panther 2 with that situation? How would you like them to go through with it? Would you rather see someone, you know how they do the CG for Star Wars and stuff? Like, I'm going to say, like, would you rather see somebody play Chadwick for maybe a scene to pass the torch?
Nah, I don't. That feels kind of weird. Yeah, it's creepy. It's like you're, like creating a digital puppet, of somebody's deceased body. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's not actually them, it's like it's still creepy, man. I don't like it. But it's just kind of how like I feel about holograms,
Okay.
But I think where they're talking about going with it, I guess just somehow passing it on to Shuri and just doing it that way. Just have a grand ceremony, celebrate his life, and move forward. If they can have obviously Shuri's going to be the replacement, but I don't know how invested I could be in an entire Black Panther series led by Shuri. So I have to see about that.
I bet money if the TV series is going to do anything, if it's probably going to lead with anybody, it would probably be not anybody who's even in the movie yet. Or if anything, it would be from the actor who plays from Get Out. He's in it. That actor, I can't remember his name. He's going to be in also Judas and the Black Messiah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when I said like the series, I mean like the movie series.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yeah, but definitely I would expect like the Wakanda to be more like, I don't know, maybe they would focus on the daily lives of some characters we haven't heard of or maybe just saw in passing. Yeah, so that would make sense. I would watch it if it was focused on him and like the more deeper government side of and the spiritual side of Wakanda. I'd like to see more of that.
I agree. No, and then back to your movie thing. They're free in a pickle, but I would like to be. There are plenty of comics that they can at least go off of when Shuri was Black Panther. Obviously, this big pickle of like, and to me, it sounds like the people will not accept a recasting, which I agree to, especially at least on Black Panther 2, I wouldn't. After Black Panther 3 or something, it's hard to me to go like, oh, I can see why, yes or no. But I don't see them doing recasting. And then I don't know either. I don't know how I'd feel about Chadwick like CGI. Could also be just Black Panther without ever taking off his mask, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think the most we'd probably see of that, of Chadwick actually being there, is just images, like in loving memory, sort of like images, or, and that'd be it. Just them celebrating his life and move forward. And I think that's the best thing you can do, otherwise right. It's weird kind of. So, yeah.
But on to moving forward, BioWare has brought out some news about their Mass Effect Legendary Edition that's going to be releasing on May 14th with game improvements to modernize the games like the original. Like some of the big highlights this week was talking about how much they fixed up the original Mass Effect game with like more modern controls from like the Mass Effect 3 and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder they probably took some stuff from Andromeda too, like you said you were playing, but some of the things that Mass Effect they were highlighting was like aim assist is going to be in the game, combat improvements like dedicated melee button, keep locked on target while strafing, because apparently that was a troubled thing during the first game. I only played maybe 2 missions, and I didn't on an Xbox 360, and I just said, not for me. But then it kept growing and growing, so I'm like, we'll see. But there's also going to be weapon balances through all 3 games. And they removed the class-based weapon restrictions and aim penalties. Apparently, it means you can't train into being better on these certain weapons they're talking about, but you still won't be penalized using them. So they're just doing
sounds cool.
They're just doing the modern improvements. What would be like in like Mass Effect 3 compared to 1. Improved squad AI with a Legendary Edition. Is trying to set up a universal control scheme for all 3 games, it says. And then they modernized the HUD and 4K visual looks. It looks nice. Did you see any images like during this week?
Yeah. My opinion on the visuals is it's odd, right? Because you can see that they increased the texture. Like there's more texture to certain things.
Yeah.
More details. But it still doesn't always look better. Like the fix, or not really the fix, but like they completely changed the face of female shepherd from
Mass Effect 3.
From Mass Effect 3 to Mass Effect 1, and I don't think it looks better. You know what I'm saying? It's like you kind of could have left that alone, but I guess for consistency, I get it. And so visually, I'm not really looking forward to the changes that much, because it kind of looks visually like a quick remaster. Not that far from what you would get if you were playing the games on PC and just cranked it up to max.
Oh, okay.
So, but you know what? There's probably a lot of detail I haven't seen in those quick images, so I'm not going to judge it straight off like that. But what I saw on the faces, in the shadows and all that stuff like that, it looks okay. But mostly I'm looking forward to the gameplay changes in Mass Effect 1, because I played Mass Effect 2 and 3 on PS3, and they didn't have the first one because that was exclusive to 360. So I didn't get to play that until I got Xbox One and used backwards compatibility, and it was rough. It was really tough to play that, because you start out with this, like you're shooting, but it's like a big open ring, and you kind of gotta try to make sure to aim at somebody in the center of the ring. And it's like, as you kind of get better, you upgrade your aim ability and all that stuff, then it starts to get smaller and smaller and smaller. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can get better at shooting enemies. And I was like, why would you even create this in the beginning? Like, this is terrible. But so it was hard to play it, but the story was still really good. So I think I'm going to pause all that and just wait until this comes out, so then I can replay the entire trilogy.
Well, you did do a benefit of the doubt of the idea that, so people who are listening, this Mass Effect Legendary Edition is not like a built from the ground up remaster. It is just like shading differences and stuff. And then I didn't see the difference. I don't even know what the original girl shepherd looked like, but that's one thing they highlighted, that they did go backwards and put a standard female shepherd in Mass Effect 1 that will look the same in 2, look the same in 3, to go with the Mass Effect 3 version of her. And then I would check out those ones that are not maybe about the facial part of it. But the idea of like, they changed the Mass Effect 1's HUD to look more like the Mass Effect 2 and 3 HUD. So obviously like a room for improvement wise there. And then also they structured some of the atmosphere. Like they might have moved the sun over to this side of the screen just to get a different shadow base for this time around.
Mm-hmm.
So those look pretty nice. I mean, they are going to look like, they did show before and after. I don't even know the character's name, but there's this older man character with a burnt scar on one side of his head. And the idea of, they showed the before and after. He still looks like an old gen NPC, but his looks way better compared to the original one.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, they're not doing that much that wide. That idea of like, we're not doing built it from the ground up, but some of the other fixes they also did so that shows more improvement was, fix bugs in certain dialogue moments. I'm assuming they're probably involving maybe when you're talking to somebody and the camera switches to like just looking at this girl's fat ass. I think that might be the thing they fixed on, because I saw that through Twitter, like, oh, they're trying to fix this gorgeous thing. And then fix some of the camera wonkiness when switching from cover in and out. And another big question that I watched on this little video was, people were asking, what is the ending of the Mass Effect 3 of this Legendary Edition? Because obviously they had that controversy. And Mass Effect 3 came out with like, they had to do like a DLC cut of a different ending. Do you remember that?
I'm pretty sure I feel like I want to say I played, or maybe I went on YouTube and watched it after I played the other ending. Maybe I just didn't want to go back. I don't remember. Right. But yeah, I do remember that, all the controversy around it. And I wish it could have been better. I was hoping that it was going to leave me feeling satisfied. It was one of those things where it was like, dang, I really don't know how to feel, especially because Mass Effect was like one of those game series that like I was surprisingly emotionally invested in the outcome for those characters, which that hadn't really happened in a video game for me. So that was crazy. I was so hyped about that. So to have it end and be like, what? It kind of threw me off, man. But I would love if they could give us a better ending. I think that would be good energy for BioWare to go back and do that. Such a heavy moment.
Do you know what the canon ending of Mass Effect 3 is?
Exactly. I couldn't tell you I couldn't read it out for you. Like, this is exactly what happened. No, I remember more the way I felt than the whole story, man. It's been like 10 years or something crazy. Like, no, not 10 years. It was like 2011, 2012, was it? It was a while ago.
I know that Mass Effect 1 was 2007. That's why they're doing like this anniversary idea of style of it. I can't remember what it is either, but no, I'm looking it up, and apparently something about the Shepherd did survive the events.
Oh yeah, spoilers.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it was like there was an ending and you kind of saw like a hand, and it was like, you know how they like a finger twitched or something. It's like, oh, maybe I think it was something little like that.
Well, I don't want to spoil it. I'm not truly spoiling it, besides the idea of whatever the canon ending of Mass Effect 3 is, because I can't remember. I'm assuming it might be the one that maybe some people don't like, but because this version that's coming out on this disc is going to have an extended version of the canon ending that gives more context to the story. What? So maybe they're actually going with the one that they do a DLC and they fix something that people didn't like. and then they're just going to give more context to protect their DLC they made.
Okay.
That must be what it is. So you'll at least know in Mass Effect 3, if you play it on this new Legendary Edition, you'll get kind of more of a extended of that ending. So maybe you might enjoy more there too.
You know what? I didn't know about that. I thought it was just going to be all the DLC, what we got before. I was hoping, but to hear that, even if it's just extended and it kind of gives more context, that gives me a lot more hype for it, you know? So,
well, good. And then obviously it's going to be 60 frames per second, unlocked frames on PC, but it's going to be also all 40 plus DLCs on all the games. The only thing I saw for DLC that's not going to be in this game is going to be apparently the original Mass Effect had a like a multiplayer game on the Xbox version, but it gave the PS3 version of Mass Effect a bug. That's why they never brought it out or some shit I heard. That's not included, but 40 plus DLCs include even Dragon Age armor from back in the day.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy how much content is just in any of these games, like the base game. There's so many side quests along with how you can, nobody plays the game the exact same way. And that's why going from that to Andromeda and how the quality control was just so low, it was just, that sucked. I was expecting it's still some of the same flavor, but yeah, anyway, hopefully this will be good. I'm looking forward to it now. So.
No, yeah, I totally. And then what is it? Where are you? But yeah, it looks good. Again, May 15th. I gotta look up May 14th. So only a couple months away now, and then I'm looking forward to it. And then there's some couple EA announcements this week of apparently college football is coming back. EA is going to make another NCAA football. Last time they did one was with NCAA football 14, and they had QB of University of Michigan, Denard Robertson, on the cover, and that was the last one. They've been on a little hiatus because of thing involving about using, I don't even know why, but they said they're bringing it back. So NCAA is going to come out this probably next year. Do you ever play any of the football games?
No, I don't play sports games, man.
Nothing?
None. Last sports game I played was maybe some NFL Street or something. I play those arcadey sports games, man.
Wow, I that's the type I like too. The last time I had I remember NBA Street Volume 2 back then, because I didn't like the NFL Street one, but no, the last time I played even college, the last time I played a sports sim also was back in NCAA College Football 04 with on the GameCube. That's how long ago it was for me. That's when it was still a hint of arcade, so that's why it was fun. And beating my cousin as University of Michigan, but yeah, looking forward to nothing real story or news wise besides they are going to make it, they said. And then apparently Apex Legends is going to come to the Switch on March 9th. And what do you like about? Do you like Apex or ever played it?
I probably played a second of it and then cut it off, but it's always been really interesting to watch. Like I watched streamers playing it.
Yeah.
But like when I'm thinking about it, it's like, I mean, they've gotten some pretty detailed games to run on Switch and run somewhat decently, but and of course they got Fortnite on there, but this game is a little more detailed. So I'm curious, like, how is it going to run? Like either it's going to look like trash and run decent, or it's just going to be a buggy mess and somewhat look a little bit better. I don't know how they're going to make this work, man. They need to come out with that Switch Pro ASAP. This is getting heavy, man.
I'm also with you in that idea of how will they do it? This is where I'm going to see like a wrench into the idea. They put Doom on the Switch, even Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
Those have that same graphical, like little bits that you're talking about how Apex is, except then Apex also is a massively open, server world.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it's going to look either. I mean, somebody does magic on that for those Switch. What is it?
Ports.
Yeah, ports. That's the word. Those fucking Switch ports. But yeah, I mean, we'll see when it comes out March 9th, and then Nintendo Switch players will receive 30 free levels of Season 8's Battle Pass to help catch up to this new season. Because the new season just started last week, and they have a new player, or a new character and all that shit. They kind of do like how Fortnite has been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like it because I don't like first person, like that Titanfall-esque style of fighting, and knowing that someone can be so much better than you with the sliding and stuff. I'm too old for that shit.
I look at that stuff, man, and it just it looks like a game that is just meant to be played with mouse and keyboard, with all that, because it seems so difficult to get that movement smooth on a controller. I mean, I know you can pull it off. It's just like you can play Doom, but when I saw gameplay for Doom the first time, and I saw the tricks that they were pulling off, I was like, nah, there's no way. Like, there's been many opportunities for me to play Doom on Xbox, and I still refuse. I'm not going to experience that game on anything other than mouse and keyboard.
The 2016 Doom or the Doom Eternal?
Yeah, like the new.
I would check. Yeah. I'd check it out on the controller too, because at least 2016, because there's not that much platforming traversal for you to get that miss opportunity. But the Doom 2016, because that feels great on a controller, and then that one still has a, how would I say it? It has a nice flow on a controller, even aiming when you're jumping around on that one as well.
Yeah, like I saw some gameplay on controller, and it looks cool. But when you see how lightning fast they can, whip the character around and shoot this guy and turn around and do this, that stuff is impossible on a controller. You know what I'm saying? Even with, the auto aim, or what I'm saying, what do you call that crap?
Aim assist.
Yeah, that crap right there. That's what I meant. So even with that kind of stuff, you just can't pull off that type of movement. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is probably like one of the only games I've seen, and I just said I won't play it on anything else, just because I want to play it that way.
Okay. No, respectable. All right, Joey, you like capitalism?
Sure, why not, man?
Because the next story, Gearbox was just bought by the Embracer Group, which is basically the parent company of THQ Nordic. So they got bought, and apparently what I looked up is a little different from what some people say, but long story short, people are saying that it was bought for $1.3 billion. But what I found was they got $63 million in cash. The other half's in stock shares with the Embracer Group, and then they have a little carrot on the end of their stick. They get an additional $1 billion if Gearbox performs financially good for 6 years after they made the agreements. But Gearbox is now a THQ studio. I think that's a crazy purchase for that Embracer Group.
Yeah, who were they teamed up with before?
THQ?
Gearbox. It's like I feel like I remember their name going side by side with another company. Who was that?
Gearbox is, they've been independent. Borderlands is Gearbox and THQ, or 2K, excuse me.
Yeah.
Take-Two. And then they also do their own distributing too. So like they did, it was Gearbox that published Godfall for the PS5. Godfall is not made by Gearbox, but they publish it. So
Okay.
THQ basically bought a publishing source as well. So like the idea of the next SpongeBob could be Gearbox published SpongeBob or something. So it's just another thing to put in their little portfolio. But I just thought it was kind of crazy that all the studios you've heard, well, I guess they have Deep Silver too. But Gearbox felt like they were pretty high on the totem pole of like some indie studios. And just to hear that THQ's parent company acquired them too was kind of crazy and pretty big news, I thought. You play Borderlands?
I played a little bit of it. I played a tiny bit of 1. I couldn't get into it heavy like that, mainly because I really didn't have a whole group to run with. Like it doesn't really seem like the type of game that's really fun when you're just playing by yourself.
It seems like that with the more modern versions, because Borderlands 1 felt smaller for your open world, but now since they have more tricks of the trade, they can make the games bigger and stuff. So yeah, Borderlands 3 felt a little too big for a one-person player. That's why I kind of dropped out of it as well too.
I got Borderlands 3 on Stadia.
But yeah, I think I remember seeing your tweet. You got it for like what, $1 or $2?
Yeah, man. It was a crazy deal. It was like the version with all the DLC, and I'm like, why not? You know what I'm saying? I don't have a gaming PC, so I can try it out on keyboard and mouse on Stadia just to see how it runs. And they had just added the YouTube streaming feature, which actually it ran pretty well. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I know that I'm jumping back to another topic, but it's like, it's crazy. Like they had the opportunity. They had the stuff for Stadia to work, and they're just flopping.
Stadia, well, Google himself are definitely those ones that push the innovation, but it's just a hair not up to what they usually would hang out with, and they drop it, and somebody else will come back with better. Like how does, even like we're on Zoom right now. Who would have thought even like the idea of Skype fucking up this pandemic's way of becoming the biggest meeting room for these digital conferences? You know what I'm saying?
True.
It's always something with Google and that shit too. But yeah, I mean, hopefully everything works out with Gearbox. Back to that. And then the last thing before we get into the little Snyderverse convo is just Square Enix is being smart. They're making a PS5 version of the Final Fantasy 14 MMORPG. And the beta will be out April 13th. And then the full game of the PS5 version will be later this fall. And they also announced the next expansion called Endwalker. And don't know, I'm not into Final Fantasy 14, just speaking out the news and the idea of when I hear Endwalker, is this possibly the final DLC for that? I know it's been doing well, but I just know we'll see how that goes. Have you played any Final Fantasy 14? I haven't, just to hear about it.
I played when it first launched on PS4 years ago, and it was in rough shape, man. The interface was too small. And it was like they took it from PC and just kind of slapped it on there, so it just wasn't really set for TVs yet. So
I wonder if you played like the one before they did a Realm Reborn.
Oh yeah, I played.
Oh wow,
it had to be like, I probably played like a beta or something. I remember. I think it was beta. Me and my other friends around the time, we were hyped to get in, and it was kind of cool to, play as a co-op experience, but I couldn't really get into it heavy. Those type of MMOs haven't been able to catch me yet. So I haven't tried it since they had the big reboot. So maybe it might be there. I have to try it out one of these days. But as far as like ending, I think that thing is just too hyped. There's too big of a community for them to just let it go.
I would
So,
well, if you do the free trial, you can play everything up to this current DLC Shadowverse before Endwalker. It's all for free for a whole month. But that's basically all the gaming news. But now we get into the Snyderverse stuff. I want to just have you come on for what? Well, let's go on with that. Like, what makes you like DC's current run of movies? Like the Man of Steel, the Batman versus Superman, and you know what I mean? Like, what brings you in to the table of those type of movies? Because some people obviously don't like that Snyder-esque style of directing.
I was one of them, like at first, because I was kind of into the Marvel way of doing things. Everything was a little more brighter, a little more, just, I don't want to say campy, but it just had a different tone,
Yeah, they had the same formula, at the end of the day. Like, not like saying that I'm not going to degrade Marvel either at the moment because of this, but like, they gave us a formula of how to do a origin movie, and they kind of did that with almost every single character until they, here's a little small snippet, boom, and they had a formula that brought the people in until they do like these bigger event ones too, which you can respect. But yeah, I just was trying, because they do have a formula. What brought you over to the dark side, DC?
I like the energy. The visuals are crazy. And the fact that it's like there's a deeper story like within the story, and it's one of those things where you can watch it multiple times and you get more from it. Whereas, not to knock anything else. I mean, I know there's that for Marvel movies, but I don't know, just the energy just kind of went with me. And after I watched it multiple times, when I first watched Man of Steel, I didn't really care for it because, once again, I was going in expecting DC's take on, on basically Marvel's formula for DC characters. And that's just not really. After I got done watching all those, after I had been watching Marvel movies for years, I wanted something different. So it wasn't like, I want more of the same, because it's just like, that's what I wanted. And I wanted, no. I was open to something different. So then I rewatched Man of Steel. And I was like, wow, this is actually really good. I mean, I could see why I didn't like it the first time, because I felt like they were rushing to get to Justice League to compete with Marvel, which they still were.
Right.
But it's the story, the way the characters are done, the visuals, all that stuff, the music, it's the scale of everything. It just is so much more grand than other, than what I was getting in the other movies. And Batman versus Superman, that's just crazy underrated. You know what I'm saying? Especially but I blame the theatrical cut. That was just terrible. It was a really bad movie, but the Ultimate Edition is just way better.
You can let your freak flag fly, because you're talking to a person who liked Batman vs Superman in theaters too.
Oh no!
I was gonna say it's good. I like it. I just don't understand either. There is a weird. That's my problem with Batman vs Superman going into the Justice League of that theater run is it changed the formula of how you looked at this world. It went from like this dark dreariness, and we just had a loss of Superman, and then it goes into this bubbly, weird, like found footage shit because of Josh Whedon. It's just, and he ran the Avengers 1 and 2, so obviously he just has this weird, different style of directing that goes into the more bubbly whatever. I'm really looking forward to seeing Zack Snyder's original thoughts. And what did you think of when you found out, like when they first announced it, they were going to say it's going to be 4 episodes, but then like, nope, sorry, we're gonna make it into one 4 hour cut. What do you think of that?
You know, when I first heard that they were talking about 4 episodes, I'm like, how are they gonna make that work when they've been filming this whole entire time for it to be, you know, structured like a movie? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna have a beginning, and then it's gonna, you know, it's gonna have the beginning, middle, and end. It's not meant to cut off like that, you know, because each episode, it's a part of a continuing story, but it also has to have a proper ending and an end at every hour, so it just doesn't feel like cut off, dead end. You know what I'm saying? Cliffhanger. I mean, you're gonna be left with a cliffhanger, but you know what I mean? Like, like imagine any of your favorite movies if you just slice that up into like 3 or 4 blocks and it just ended right at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At an hour in, like that would be weird. So I'm like, how are they gonna make it work? And I think they just couldn't. And so I'm perfectly fine with it being 4 hours. If somebody wants to break it up, I mean, just only watch 2 hours and then come back the next day and finish it. You know what I'm saying? It's not that deep.
What are some things you're how do I word it? What do you expect from this Snyder Cut version of this film? And then also, like, I guess if you want, you can like explain like how you felt through the whole thing when you first saw Justice League, the theater version, and like I've been on that thing, and then I'm more trying to say it into the idea of, okay, I'll backtrack. Me, I was obviously very disappointed. I don't want to say I went into the bandwagon of some of these Snyder Cut fans that are very over the top and like problematic on the internet. But of course I wanted a released Snyder version. If he keeps, you know, he was keep hinting at he has these movie reels, and then obviously could be fully real, could be bullshit, because obviously it's hard to say no since they were doing weird production things with him now for this reshoot. Makes you question if he was trying to flare up the internet to get his job back or something. You know what I'm saying? And then
yeah, I just I don't believe it was a full movie ready to go. I mean, from what you hear, it's like he had, you know, like a lot of CG. It was a real rough cut. You know, a bunch of stuff just kind of stitched together. But of course, if you had released it like that, it would have been rough. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have. It wasn't in a state where it could be released. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody was saying that, no, that wasn't the case. But regardless, whatever it took, I wanted to see the original vision.
I'm curious on what does the Joker do now into this version? Like, was that really intended from his real vision when he was like, you know, before it was in theaters? That seems interesting. I don't think they're gonna really talk about that Deathstroke scene because of this situation. I wonder if they're gonna cut that out too now. I could be wrong, but it's very interesting. And also I just want to see it. And like, I don't know how I didn't want to defend Zack Snyder, but the idea of, I knew you would be a person who is on my same level of wanting it, but also you're not also a Fruit Loop, like the internet of these Snyder Cut people that are like now yelling with Ray Fisher and then like saying like his word is set in stone about like, you know about what's going on with Ray Fisher, of course, about all these allegations and stuff.
Yeah, I heard a lot about that. Yeah, but go finish. I don't want to cut you off.
Oh, I was just more going to say the idea of Ray Fisher had a kind of a case with Josh Whedon, because also hearing from other people, Josh Whedon has a style of directing that's kind of like that. I don't want to say degrading, but the idea of he clearly directs different than Zack Snyder. So he treats people different. And then also he probably sounds like a weirdo, since this week in particular, with the WandaVision shit, they said that this news run went out that said Josh Whedon wanted a Vision penis on him when he first seen him on Age of Ultron. And then he said, oh, never mind. Like, he has this weird idea that he wanted it.
Why?
That's the part of the story. Like I think they just ran with a story this week because it happens in particular of speaking. But the idea of now that Warner Brothers did the actual investigation and all that stuff, and then it didn't go through to what he said, he started pointing fingers at like the DC's executive officer for movies, that Hamada. He pointed at Jeff Johns for not helping, blah, 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 trying to get anybody in trouble, but it's not happening. But there's a small group of the internet that will defend him because it involves the Snyder Cut and all that stuff. That's where I'm saying that. That's why I brought you in, because I want to just know somebody who wants to see the movie. What part would you like to see in this Justice League?
What I like to see?
I want to see Apocalypse, like the planet with and actually see Darkseid with his like board of people that he works with. I can't remember their names offhand.
Yeah, what are they like? Are they like Four Horsemen or something like that? No,
it's kind of like the DC version of the Four Horsemen. Like you're probably going to see Steppenwolf, but it's the New Gods, I believe.
Oh, okay. But yeah, man, like I really just want to see the original vision. I don't know what I definitely want to see the story, how they had it planned out, because they said Cyborg was such a main character. You know what I'm saying? He was like, so I want to see that. And I also want to see how they're going to lay the movie out, because I'm hearing that plans that they had for the sequel, the Justice League sequel, are actually mashed into this 4-hour cut. So I don't know, maybe the Joker part, I don't know if that was planned or not, or maybe that was something that might have shown up in the second one. But we got a lot of stuff that, because I heard they were kind of filming for both of them at the same time. So I hope they can make it right, and it doesn't feel like my issue with the original cut of Batman versus Superman, where we're just having these jarring jumps from scene to scene, and it almost feels like there's no flow. You know what I'm saying? Like at one point I was watching that movie and I'm like, dang, this doesn't even feel like the same movie, like how they're jumping around like this. But it makes sense because they cut out 30 minutes of content. So to have to mash together two movies like that, I'm hoping that almost $100 million worth of reshoots will stitch things together right. So I'm just go ahead.
No, I'm sorry I'm not trying to interrupt you. No,
no, it's fine. Go ahead.
I'm just looking, man. What was the words? Are you on, sound like how you speak? Are you on the side that you think this might push the idea that Zack Snyder might be in control of the DC movies?
Whenever, like, it's really based on how it does. You know what I'm saying? If this is like record breaking and it brings, crazy amounts of money to HBO Max, anything can happen when money gets involved. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all really about. It's about bringing in subscriptions, and if people really want more Zack Snyder, then they will give people more Zack Snyder to keep those subscriptions around. So I'm hoping that it gets the hype it deserves, because honestly, I know they're doing this whole, okay, how do I say this? Especially with how they're doing the whole, what is it? The multiverse sort of thing. Yeah. Anything can change right now. So it's just all about, okay, what has the potential to make us the most money? We can write this out really quick. Robert Pattinson's trilogy can go from a trilogy to a one-time thing real quick, and or maybe they'll bring them together or do some type of, anything can change. So
yeah, they have the Flash movie that could probably still fix that shit too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, the reason I wanted to, because like the idea of how you said this is Wonder Woman 1984. This is apparently, is estimated that it brought in 554,000 signups for HBO Max in December.
Crazy.
Oh, excuse me. That's from just Friday, December, Christmas to the 27th of December.
That's wild. That's wild, man.
But the reason I'm trying to get to is that is a full-blown advertisements, like everywhere. You know what I mean? They had marketing for the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that much marketing for this Snyder Cut.
I think I'm hearing that the rollout is supposed to start in the middle of this month, you know, because they already had to shift the dates around because of Godzilla versus Kong. They WB or Warner Media, it's like they actually put them like in the same week. I think at first they landed them on the same day, or it was like within 2 days of each other. And so they had to shift things around. They delayed Kong versus Godzilla, or whichever order that is. So I think I hear it's supposed to start like mid-February. Then we're going to get the last trailer. And
today's
then
the Super Bowl. Do you think we're going to have a little ad today?
I would hope like this would be but honestly, the way that Warner Media is trying to with the bad energy and news around this movie and the actors and all that, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to bury it. So hopefully it will do good despite that, because no company has 2 giant movies and it's like, oh, we put this huge, you know, Godzilla versus Kong right next to the Snyderverse. Oh, well, we didn't realize. Oh, no. Nah, it seems like they're trying to mash it. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to really throw it away and all the controversy with it and just move forward. So hopefully that doesn't happen and it can still spin off into something and they still give it the promotion it deserves.
We'll see. I mean, yeah, I mean, how I word it. I'm not going to put you on my side of this if you don't want to. No, that's why I get all this shit from even, let's say, Delvin. I think Batman versus Superman is better than like majority of the Marvel stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Ooh, shit. Now you're going to hear it. But the reason I like to more leave off this. This is why I like DC more than Marvel. I've been told many times, Marvel is, for comics, is humans trying to be gods.
Mm-hmm.
And DC is gods trying to be human. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why I like DC in the sense of it's not about, it's about the smaller things in life, about family and stuff. And like compared to like becoming the strongest or the most powerful thing like in Marvel is. That's why I like DC. Like we have, you know, of course, Superman being Superman, and then he wants to just be a little family farm boy. That's why that's where the image of DC comes from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I wish you would, while I have you should check out those future state things with the next Batman. And it's the one that I don't want to say his name wrong, but is it John Ridley, the director? He's the one. He's doing the. I'm gonna look it up, but John Ridley is the author of these next Batman storylines for Future State DC, which is like the comic book, like this small little comic book art going on before Infinite Frontier starts.
Oh, I'm so out of the whole loop when it comes to the comics, man. you think I don't even know if I jump in at this point, like would I fully understand? I mean, you said it's like something in between, so maybe they kind of designed it for anybody to jump in, but
I would. Okay, you're actually in the perfect time zone of doing this. If you want to read Future State is basically they jump the years forward for these small snippet stories. This doesn't involve technically canon shit yet.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of without, you know, it's the storyline that involves they have the next Batman is where is it? Just want to make sure. Yeah, John Ridley, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
But it involves the next Batman is this black guy. It's the one that they were promoting in the summer, and it involves they also, it's not a spoiler because obviously they say it in the publications and advertisements for it, but it involves this is Tim Fox, Lucius Fox. This is his long lost, not, I don't want to say long lost, but it's a son that they don't really talk about.
Oh, okay.
He takes the helm as the new Batman, and it involves like this future state where it involves like Batman's not really the main person helping no more. He's kind of a fugitive. He still works with Duke Thomas, but it's a good small story. Like it's only going to be like 3 issues or 4 issues, and then it's done.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds like something small I could possibly get into at some point.
But then in March is the next series of DC called Infinite Frontier. You know how they did like the New 52 and Rebirth?
Yeah, I heard about that.
This is the next one in the sense of if you're going to start, you can start right here, and they're going to have like an issue 0 and explain what happened, because there's some things that have been happening in the DC universe with this past event called Death Metal, which then it basically opens up the door so DC can be like Marvel and have like an infinite multiverse instead of like the very down to 52 worlds, blah, 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 they used to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have a massive Earths in the world. And that's just what that's going to start off. But it starts in March. So you can, right there's like issue 1. You can just start off there, and like that can be your chain of thought for the DC comics going on. It's pretty good. And then they keep showing pictures of them. So like these future state people might be progressing and might be coming into the new universe anyway. So this would be like their origin stories right now you're reading.
Oh, okay. Oh man, comic books, man, they're intimidating because there's just so many different comics, and there can be multiple versions. I know you're saying like this, they're kind of starting fresh, so I can start here, which is cool. It's just I'm thinking about all the other times I thought about it, and I even made lists, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try here, but then it's like there's like 50,000 versions of all these different comics, and it's like, well, this one sounds good, and then I hear this one's really awesome, and it's like, oh man. So then you just kind of get frozen, and I don't know which one to start,
right?
And then I just kind of throw it away. So,
well, looking forward, if they go by what they said, it sounds like we're gonna get a lot more of those short, condensed stories, and not like these long going, like how you're like getting, not like that, but you get nervous. There's 35 other issues before this one. Should I read those?
Yeah,
I won't have to do that with this next coming up one for DC, like they've been doing with Marvel. But no, I mean, that's basically just want to know. March 18th is the Snyderverse, and I'll be definitely watching it on day 1.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for it to finally see it. I don't want to put too much energy on it because it could go either way. But yeah, there's it has potential.
Say, as a fan, it can only go up since we're already at rock bottom for the first one.
Oh yeah, pretty much, man. I'm hoping that people see it that way, and it's like, okay, even if it just gets support for being better, and then I mean we're supposed to have Martian Manhunter, and I think I think we're gonna see a Green Lantern in there. I'm not sure, but I mean, like I said, I know. Not I know, but I heard they were going to be taking content from what was going to be the sequel and fusing it into this one, so we could get a lot more characters than we had than they had originally planned to put into this one. So I'm hyped, man. I'm hoping it turns out great, that it leads to more stuff, because you can't just have this big event and it and then just end right here. Unless it flops, then it's like, okay, well, fine, all right, you tried, and just leave it alone.
Right, that's a good way to leave it off on that. I'm looking forward to too. But yeah, that's basically this week's cousin Cecil's show. Besides, we'll obviously leave off like we usually do with hot picks. For me, for comics, I say someone should go check out, Morbius, Bound for Blood. Issue 1 comes out this Wednesday. It's another, with the movie coming out, this is issue 1. Somebody who might want to jump in and start reading Morbius before the movie. It's a good time to jump in. And then for movies, I pick, it's on HBO Max right now. It just came out this Friday. It's called Earwig and the Witch. It is the Studio Ghibli new CG movie that just came out on HBO Max, like I said, and I watched it. It's pretty good. It's a little bit more musically compared to the other Studio Ghiblis I'm used to. But I'd check it out if you have the subscription. It's not that bad to shake at. It's a good family little kid cartoon to watch. And then for music, I got Foo Fighters' Shame, Shame for the song. It's been really digging. I've been playing a while. I've been playing Destruction All Stars by myself. It's pretty good tune. Joey, did you have any hot picks if you want? Probably not.
Yeah. Dang, you just expected me to come unprepared. Nah, but okay, so let me get my list so I can. Okay, music track. My music track will be. Oh man, there's so many options. All right, I will pick.
That's a true Joey Craig say right there. Hey, pick one song, but there's so many good ones.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. Okay, so Summer's Over interlude by Drake. That's the fire track. It never gets old. It's extremely short. You probably play it over like 10 times. It's from his track, not his track, but his album Views, his most underrated album. Go check that out. And my other pick, movie or TV show. Dang, what up? Chuck. Go watch Chuck. Best, one of the best NBC shows ever. It's awesome, underrated. And as far as a comic, I don't really read comics. So
he said fuck reading like Chaufie. No, if people listen to this and this is that right there, if you don't know Joey's personality, right there, he said hot picks. He picked two things that were from a way later year. Like, there you go. Thank you.
Hey, and go read The Alchemist in place of the comic.
Hey, that works. Read The Alchemist. I've seen that. That's a short read too. That ain't that long.
Yeah, it's a really good book though.
Is that why you think you're like on this different planet now, Joey? How you handle Twitter?
I'm not a hippie, man.
You're on a different level. You have a really good, well, not good. Good is a debatable thing, but you have a way different outlook on life than some people close to me. So I can respect that.
Well, thanks. I don't know. Is it good or you said good or bad is subjective?
It's subjective. And then obviously, no, you like to give people heart failures of just making sure that you want to come onto the show and come here on time and stuff. And you're like, sure. And then it goes 3 days later, I'll be there. I'm like, oh, okay.
Hey, I said I'm going to be there. So it's like, 99%, I'm going to be there. I know Delvin would be like, yeah, no, not 99%, but Delvin sucks. So don't trust.
There you go. You say more, let it out. They'll be more jealous. I got you to talk more than they do.
I'm not going to turn this into a Delvin roast session, even though he would take that advantage to take the opportunity to do it about me, but I'm not going to be like him. I'm going to be better.
Oh, goddamn. Well, anyway, no, thank you for coming on, man. Why don't you tell the people where they can find you, and maybe the Skyward Cast will come back.
Dang. Yeah. Skyward Cast will come back one of these days. So yeah, you can definitely, whenever we're making new episodes or you want to listen to the old episodes, you can go check out the Skyward Cast on all of it's pretty much wherever you can listen to podcasts. Sometimes it's on YouTube, but definitely on Google Podcast app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, et cetera, et cetera. Just search up the Skyward Cast. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Skyward King. That's pretty much it, man.
All right. And then, of course, you guys can follow me on Twitter at MikeFowler93, twitch.tv/Cousin Cecil. That's CUZNCISEAL. And then, yeah, I want to thank Joey again for coming on. And then for both of us, you guys be good to each other. And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.